And we're live. Greetings, friends. Welcome. Happy Sunday. Eagles Pro is here and says hi. And Mark says, howdy, cowpokes. And then he responded to a question. It was kind of a clickbaity question to get you to click on the Amazon link, where I asked if you collect vinyl. And he says, no, Super Antonio, I've never had an interest in vinyl. I remember my older siblings throwing vinyl records out of the window. They tossed the vinyl records like you might toss a frisbee. That's disappointing. What's that about? Miko says, hello, Super Antonio and Sadie. Hello, mods. Good day, evening, fellers. Greetings, Miko. Happy Sunday or Tuesday to you. Sadie is indeed here. She is fast asleep. I don't know if you saw the promotional, but I had something strange happen last night after the stream. Something that seems to me to have been a paranormal event. And we will talk about it as soon as more viewers roll into the chat. At any rate, that's what we're going to talk about. I've got a ghost story for you guys. Serena says, hi, Antonio, I'm here. Everybody say hi to Serena. Serena, just in time, friend. I had a paranormal event last night, and we're going to talk about it when more people roll in, when David and O-Dog get here, maybe. But Serena says, hi, everyone. How are you, Serena? I hope you're feeling better. Miko says, hello, Serena. I have my green tea. Sadie's here, Serena. Oops. She's very tired. She's a tired girl. Serena says, hi, Miko. 8 viewers in the chat, welcome. Appreciate you being here. Happy Sunday. How's your week looking? I hope it's looking good for you guys. Christian says, howdy, Super Antonio. I have arrived. Oh, a ghost story. Fun times. Yes, indeed. We are going to be talking about a paranormal event that occurred last night right after stream. And Serena says, wow, that's exciting, Antonio. I'm into paranormal stuff. I know you are, Serena. And it was a very strange experience that I cannot really explain. Cannot rationally explain. But we'll talk about it. Let's let some more viewers roll into the chat. And David says, there she is. Greetings, David. How are you, friend? Happy Sunday to you and your lovely wife. What's for dinner? And Serena says, I'm good, Antonio. I just got up. Well, I'm glad you're feeling better, Serena. And David says, fellers. David, I have a ghost story for you guys. It was a strange event. This time, Sadie was not here to witness it. She was in the bedroom. But we'll talk about it when the chat starts picking up. Mark says, boy, that is a mighty welcoming campfire. Greetings, Mark. Yeah, I know. Collecting vinyl for me, Mark, was more of a COVID distraction. I started a lot of hobbies during the pandemic. Action figures, Blu-rays and DVDs, and vinyl. And the only one I really kept up with was the Blu-rays and DVDs. David says, David says, Miko, and Christian says, hello, Serena, I hope you're well. And David says, Mark. Serena says, hi, Mark. David says, Chris. Mark says, aloe all, and aloe star. 10 viewers in the chat. Okay, I wanted us to get to double digits before I talked about what occurred last night. And spoiler alert, it's not that dramatic. It's nothing like the movies. It's just an odd thing that happened that is completely anecdotal. There's no evidence. And it's an eyewitness account. And you should know how unreliable eyewitnesses are. So last night after stream, I log off and I turn off the computer. I turn off all the lights in the living room, so it's dark in here. But I needed to do the dishes in the kitchen, which I usually do before stream. Um, but I'm not, it's like you're not supposed to go to bed angry, and I don't like going to bed with a sink full of dirty dishes. So I'm going to clean that up. But first, I need to put this one, to bed. And she's so tired, this little one, that I have to carry her. I know, I mean, she's young. I'm sure I could have insisted, and she would have gotten down and jumped up into bed. But, she gets tired, and she's a little baby, and she likes being treated like a baby. So I picked her up and carried her to bed. So I put her in bed, turned the TV on, and I closed the door, because if I'm in the kitchen, she'll want to be in the kitchen, because that's where all the treats are. So I'm doing the dishes, okay? And everything's fine. And it's very quiet, and the rest of the apartment is dark. And the building is not that old. I mean, it's certainly not by European standards. It's like it was built in the early 70s, so it's like 50 years old-ish. And it's not scary at all. Like, there are no scary aspects. The building doesn't seem haunted. Like when you go down to the parking garage, or the laundromat, the laundry room. There are no scary areas in this building, or areas that you get creeped out. So I'm doing dishes and everything's fine, and then I feel a hand on my shoulder, but it's not like a hand, a physical hand. It was more like a shadow or a memory of a hand, and immediately I thought of my father, and I didn't get sad. I didn't even stop washing the dishes. I just, I thought, if that's you, I miss you, but I miss you, Dad, but you have to move on. I'm doing fine. I'm okay. I have a dog. He never met that dog, unfortunately. He never met Sadie. I'm happy, and I've got a great apartment and a great life, and I'm doing okay. You can move on. And so I'm washing dishes, and I'm thinking that. But, and that's what happened. The lights didn't dim. They didn't flicker. There was no cold spot. It was nothing like the movies. It was just an odd event that I cannot really explain. And then I completely forgot about it. After I finished dishes, I went into the bedroom, and we watched Fallout, which I kind of like. I'm very, we watched Fallout and American Horror Story, and I didn't really think about it again until this morning, during the morning walk, and I was like, I think we felt a ghost last night, and it might have been my father, it might have been some rando, I don't know what it was. But I thought we should talk about it on stream, because it was an odd event. Again, I cannot prove it. It was nothing like the movies, It was very subtle, and intellectually, almost immediately after it happened, I dismissed it, which is what I always do when I have experiences like this, which have happened, more than once in my life. So, yeah, it was a strange event, but I thought I'd share it. Ben says, I have revealed myself. And Serena says, hi, Benz. And David says, Benz. And Ben says, hey there, y'all. Christian says, a sad story instead. Very sad, Super Antonio. Might have been your dad watching over you. That's what it felt like. Cruz says, hey, everyone. And Cruz says, hey, Super Antonio and Sadie. Sadie's down here, Cruz. She is fast asleep. David says, Cruz. Excuse me, I have dog hairs on my nose, and I don't like itching my nose on camera. Serena says, "Wow, Antonio, that was awesome. Gave me chills. Sad to see. I see my dad sometimes. He turns off TV and movies and stuff around here. It's scary too." Serena says, "Hi, Cruz." Yeah, nothing electronic happened. At the old house, there were lots of electronic events. You know, the microwave would like switch off, especially in the kitchen. You know, the circuits would keep breaking, and lights would go on and off, and cabinets would like slam shut when we were, when we were in the bedroom. It was a very distinctive sound. And me and the dog were the only ones in the house at the time. We were remodeling it, and we just look at each other, and then of course we'd have to go out there and investigate, and of course there's nothing there. But it's like she heard it too. It wasn't just me. So yeah, I don't understand. I can't really rationally explain it, but it was an odd event. Serena says, "Hi, Cruz," and Ben says, "Staying up to watch this currently. I appreciate that, Ben." And Serena says, "We be sitting down watching TV. All of a sudden, something goes up in the air." Wow. Yeah, it's not, any paranormal event I've had has not been dramatic at all. Just been very quiet and subtle and not scary, at least for me. Nothing like the movies. Cruz says, "I'm also in a strange occasion at the moment. I'm in the twilight zone of my bed. Bed's comfort, and the final task of brushing my teeth. Very scary for me as I risk falling straight to sleep. To sleep, perchance to dream." Yeah, and the dreams are fine. And, you cannot discount that I've been watching a lot of American Horror Story, so my mind is just supernaturally attuned right now. And that might have been part of it. Serena says, "I'm sure I feel my cat Bella. I hear her meow. This is before we looked after the kitten. Am I crazy, LOL? No, not at all, Serena. You're just very sensitive." Ben says, "At my old house, one of my dad's close friends passed away. Around that time, he was sitting there watching TV. Then the knobs came flying off the oven and spun around in the middle of the floor." Yeah, see? Now that, my friend, is a paranormal event. Nothing like just the memory of a hand on a shoulder. Yeah, it was odd. It was definitely, I guess, worthy of conversation. And then, immediately during morning walk, I was like, "Oh, we got to talk about this." But I don't know if it would happen. I don't know what would have happened if I'd let Sadie just follow me into the kitchen. But she was tired, and I wanted her to stay in bed. Serena says, "I meant to say a shoe goes in the air." Wow. Poltergeist activity. We had an event like that happen when I was growing up. Oh, and actually, I'll tell you about another one. I used to hang out in this coffee shop that was in a very old building, from the 1800s. Again, not old from European standards. Excuse me. But I hung out there for two reasons. Three reasons. One, it was close to the house, or the apartment that I was living in at the time. Two, there were a lot of cute girls that worked at worked there, and frequented the place. Three, the staff got to know me, and they would serve me free coffee. So, of course, I'm going to go there. But, I always tip well, okay? Don't think that I'm mooching off them. It's like instead of like paying for the coffee, I would just dump it in the tip jar. So, I'm hanging out with like one of the girls, and she's sitting down, and there's nobody else in the coffee shop, and and then actually the other one, the one that I had a crush on, she's working the count. She's at the counter, and so we're just like hanging out and all talking, and suddenly like one of those large garbage bins, like the kitchen ones, like I don't know, like a 12-gallon or a 20-gallon, it just tips over, clunk, like that. And we all look at it, and then we all start laughing. And the girl at the espresso machine says, "Oh, well, it's just the ghost." And I was like, "What?" There's a ghost here? That's what happened? And my rational mind was like, obviously it's over full, so it just tipped over. Or perhaps there was a mini earthquake somewhere, and the thing tipped over. But of course, the garbage can was empty. Perhaps there was a breeze, a ghostly breeze. But it's like, like I've had events like that happen that I can't explain, that have been attributed to the paranormal, that seem likely, but I can't intellectually bring myself to believe. Where are we? Shoes walk up, strange occasion, sure I feel Bella, my old house. Christian says, Super Antonio, I got a joke for you. If you hear something in the apartment, you and Sadie look at each other, and then you both investigate. It's like Scooby-Doo. Yes, it is. And Serena says, Antonio, does Sadie sense that there's something in your place? I don't think so. No. I mean, she's not like staring at the walls or growling at, shadows. She likes to look outside and investigate and, and yell at the dogs that walk by, but that's about it. Yeah, so she doesn't sense it, but I wish he'd been there to scare the ghost away in case it wasn't my dad. Ben says, when my family first got my boxer, Che, we always put her in the kennel when we left. We got home around 3 hours later. She was running around out of the kennel. There was 3 locks on it. It was all open. Wow. That dog is an escape artist. 13 viewers in the chat. Welcome, friends. We're kind of talking about ghost stories, paranormal events. And if you have a story, we would be happy to hear about it. Cruz says, maybe she was trying to flirt, Super Antonio. One can only hope. And Cruz says, or maybe the ghost was jealous. Yeah, I mean, they're human, so they have human emotions. 12 viewers in the chat. Really appreciate you being here. Welcome, friends. Happy Sunday. You may have noticed that I have added Amazon affiliate links to video descriptions and the pinned comment. That's a very easy way to support the channel at no additional cost to you. If you click on one of those links and go to the to Amazon.com and you have an Amazon account, I will get a commission off anything you purchase. You don't have to purchase. Obviously, I get a bigger commission if you purchase the product that I link to. But, if you're going there to buy, whatever you need to buy, socks, or a big screen TV, or whatever, computer, laptop, PS5, I'll get a commission on it if you buy it within 24 hours of clicking on that link at no additional cost to you. So it's a really easy way to support the channel. And that's last. I'll talk about Amazon affiliate links in this live stream. Let's move on. Christian says, this chat is ghostly, Super Antonio. Very fun watching people get chills. Nathaniel Williams says, hello. And Ben says, hello, Nathaniel, greetings. And Ben says, and one time she was in her kennel when we got home, but there was a big pee puddle in my sister's carpet. She was in the kennel the whole time. Wow. Nothing like that's happened over here. And Serena says, hi, Nathaniel. Micah says, hello, glad to be here on this rainy Sunday. Yes, it is rainy. It's a perfect night to tell a ghost story. Nathaniel says, hi, Star. So yeah, that happened, and also, as always, I wasn't afraid. It was not scary in the least. I don't think I've ever been like afraid. Not like movie afraid. It's never been like that. And I love ghost stories and supernatural and horror movies. They're my favorite. Well, not my favorite. I think my favorite genre is science fiction. Oh, speaking of science fiction, I'm really enjoying the Fallout series. I am familiar with the game. My nephew used to play it, so when I would watch him play. But it's on Amazon Prime, and I know Hortus is watching it. But if you have Amazon Prime, you might enjoy it. Ben says, I always told my dad she had a ghost mutt friend that would let her out of the kennel. I was 9 at the time. You may have been correct, Benz. Serena says, we lived in a very old house. It got hot in the summer, except in my parents' room. It would be freezing. Like you're smoking. I didn't like going in there. Yeah, there was definitely something in there, Serena. Christian says, also, Super Antonio, happy Sunday to you. And Sadie, and for everyone that has joined us. Don't forget to like the live stream, friends, and don't leave Sadie out of the comments. She gets jealous like Biscuit. Well said, Christian. Let's see if we can wake her up with some potent canine bait. I guarantee she's not going to get up, but we can maybe get her to look at the camera. Here, say hello. Here, no, look here. There. Okay, there. Say hello to Christian and Serena and David and Cruz and Miko and Nathaniel and Micah. Can you do that? Tell everyone to like and subscribe. Can you hear a crunch? 14 viewers in the chat. Welcome, friends. Kind of talking about ghost stories tonight. Just a random campfire chat. Ben says, I launched a raid on Fort Mercer earlier, went to the cliff from Red Dead 1 and started sniping with the Carcano, then went in guns blazing. That's a way, that's how to do it. I like approaching from behind so we don't have to deal with the Gatling guns. Serena says, I love ghost stories. Serena, ghost stories love you. Have you seen the Paranormal Activity series? Serena. I have them on Blu-ray. I watched Exorcist Believer. Didn't finish it. Wasn't impressed. Wasn't scary. And worse than not scary, it was not interesting. It was not well written. And I think they were trying to... it was written by people who, aren't Catholic. They don't believe. And if you don't believe, it's not going to come across as sincere. An exorcism story. Miko says, I wonder, do spirits choose when they want to be seen or felt? Or do some people just have the ability to detect them regardless? I think a little bit of both. I think some people are more sensitive. And to just supernatural events like that. Ben's leaving. Ben says, I have to go for now. Sad I could only be here this long, but much love to everyone. Okay, Benz, you have a great week. Appreciate you being here, friend. Serena says, okay, Benz, take care, friend. And David says, see ya, Benz. Cruz asks, have you heard of Mr. Ballin's YouTube channel, Super Antonio? His channel focuses on that type of content. Good stuff. And Serena says, or no, actually, and Cruz says, the Fort Mercer sombreros, LOL, John can't really pull them off. Miko says, bye, Bence. And Kristen says, bye, Bence. Enjoy the rest of your day, friend. And Serena says, yes, seen all of them paranormal activities. They really scared me. Is that a true story? No, it's not a true story. I like teasing you about many things, but I will not tease you about that, Serena. Mr. Ballin, no, I don't like watching paranormal YouTube. Why? Because I think everyone's a liar. I don't believe, it's like intellectually, I can't like put myself in a place where I can be entertained by their stories. I would much rather watch a fictional retelling of a paranormal event, i.e., a ghost story, a horror movie, something like that, But it has to be within the framework of fiction. But if it's like a YouTube channel where you're talking about ghosts, I'm just going to assume you're lying for content. If you're like, the reality shows where there are ghost hunters and the PKG meter goes off, I'm going to assume that's rigged, and you're just, you're moving that chair with a string. I can't intellectually put myself in a place where I can believe. However, if you just flip it and say that this is a movie, I'm all in. So I don't know. I don't understand that. It's just a personality quirk of mine. Nathaniel says, I'll be back. O-Dog is here. Greetings, O-Dog. Welcome. How are you doing, friend? O-Dog says, sup, Super Antonio. Been here a little bit. Had to make a snack. What did you make, O-Dog? And did you make enough for all of us? And Christian says, Serena, ghosts should be afraid of you because you're a blessed heart. That should not be crossed or hurt, friend. That is why you're called Star Hearts. And O-Dog says, hi there, Star Heart emoticon, Star Heart emoticon, Star Heart emoticon, Sadie emoticon. And O-Dog says, sup, Christian, hi, Cruz. And Serena says, LOL, Christian, thank you, appreciate it, friend. I thought of a stream that we could do that would be fun for me, though, but it would involve a little bit of rescheduling on my part. We could do a snack stream. And what I mean by that, where it's like I get a bunch of snacks and I eat them on camera and like review and discuss them, and then we feed it to the dog. And that might be fun. However, it would be my main meal for the day, because I don't, I only eat one meal a day, and that would be like a trash meal of snacks. But, I'd be happy to do it if you think that would be interesting and fun. Probably on a Sunday. David says Moondog emoticons, and Christian says, hello, O-Dog, how are you, friend? O-Dog says, Cajun turkey sandwich with plain Lay's and a kosher spear pickle. Cajun turkey. Sounds spicy. Christian says, no problem, Serena, Starheart emoticon. Cruz says, no, it's not like that, LOL. Mr. Balance stories are based on real events with photo evidence and obviously vagueness to it from key missing info. It's just spooky stories from real life adventures. Well, that sounds fun, Cruz. O-Dog says, not enough to share, unfortunately. LOL. Yeah. So yeah, maybe we'll do a snack stream, one of these campfire chats. O-Dog says, no, not spicy, flavored. I've been eating a lot of salads lately. Been really enjoying that chicken salad with the rotisserie chicken. Think I want to do that again. And today I had another taco salad, or rather nacho salad. Christian says, was just about to say Odog, where's Odog, did not have enough for everyone. He wanted it for himself, Super Antonio. Well, you know, Odog was hungry. David says, Popeye's Cajun turkey. They sell them at Thanksgiving and Christmas. Yeah, turkey for me, you know, it doesn't, I mean, it's okay. It's always a little dry. Yeah, you know, you always have to drown it in gravy for me. And I always like mix it with the sides. Serena says, Antonio and friends, did you watch? I did. My recent upload from Grand Theft Auto. Yes, I did, Serena. Well done, Serena. Dropped a like. David says, you know I did. Serena says, I will upload more Red Dead soon. Well, I have the viewer pet show video that's going to be up next. The viewer pet show announcement. Odog says, with the Whoppers, I just played with, I can't share, with melon emoticons. I think Odog is talking about deluxe baths. What's that about? Oh, speaking of deluxe baths, Odog, you'll appreciate this, kind of. Well, you know, it's like the dog walkers. Well, we met a new dog tonight, a French poodle, like the fanciest poodle I've ever seen. You know, the big ones with the fluffs here, you know, and like the fluff. I mean, you know, it's like the shaved legs and there's fluff here and then there's fluff shoulders. And she was about as big as Sadie. You know, she's like a medium dog. And the funny thing was the mom looked exactly like her. I mean, she had like just curly hair and, you know, like an expensive tracksuit on, nice, you know, nice sneakers. She had her phone out, of course, but, you know, it's like the dogs are friends and, you know, we talked a little bit. It was just funny that she matched her dog so well. And, and the dog's name was Jewel, which seems like a stripper name, or rather a deluxe bath lady name. But it was just kind of funny, Odog, that the dog matched her so well. Cruz says, went to Walmart today after exercising for a few hours and bought myself a huge box of sliced watermelon and a huge 1-pound steak, which ended up being my dinner supplement. Supplement with 2 bowls of beans. That sounds perfect, Cruz. Serena says, I have a few friends that share my videos. That helps me. And Odog is laughing and says, yep. So yeah, that was my ghost story. Odog, in case you weren't here earlier, I felt a ghostly hand on my shoulder last night after stream. And I assumed it was my dad. Christian says, Sadie seems more tired to Super Antonio. Did you run all her energy out today? Yeah, I run her every day. Also, hope both of y'all days went well, you and Sadie, Super Antonio. Yes, it did. It did. Went quite well. She's happy. Odog says, sounds like something out of a cartoon, LOL. It was not dramatic at all. It was nothing like the movies. But, yeah, it was a weird feeling. And it was more like a memory of a hand on my shoulder than an actual icy claw extending from the grave across time and space, from death to life, clawing, reaching into humanity. Odog says, you got to give her a light day so she's able to play in a stream. Let's call her back. Let's call her back with some potent canine bait. Yeah, I thought about closing the kennel, the crate door closing it off to her, but it's hers. And I never close that door. Okay. Yeah. Say hi to O-Dog. Tell everyone to like and subscribe and check out the second channel and check out the Amazon links. You don't have to buy the products. Christian says, O-Dog says, speaking of ghosts, I found new ones. You have to tell us more, O-Dog. We're having a supernatural snack stream. Christian says, also, thank you for sharing your story, Super Antonio. You're right, most ghosts or spirits don't really act like throwing stuff around or harming others, unless they are mean, angry ones. Yeah, I guess I've just been lucky and haven't really encountered any like that. O-Dog says, check the battlefield near roads, late, midnight or after. Turn up speakers and listen. Ooh, that sounds interesting, O-Dog. I'm going to make a note of that. And Sadie returned, literally marched back to her crate. Roads, battlefield, midnight, audio. Oh, that's awesome. David says, yeah, it's pretty cool. And O-Dog has the puppy emoticon and the paws emoticons. Serena says, I went to Rhodes Battlefield, first time, heard bell ring. Christian says, Sadie is off again and does not want to talk with us today. Yeah, she's had enough. She's on strike. What's that about? YouTube always will send me an email saying my stream is live, and that's what I'm doing. I hate a cluttered inbox. I don't like numbers on the on my email emoticon, so I have to immediately get rid of it. Christian asks, O-Dog, did you know you can shoot the bell and will still make the church bell noise? Very cool detail, Rockstar added. Serena says, I also went to the battlefield at night. It was stormy. I tried to hear the whispers, O-Dog. Couldn't hear anything unless I wasn't paying attention. Yeah, that video writes itself. Ghostly whispers at the old Civil War battlefield near Rhodes in Red Dead Redemption 2. O-Dog says, I've shot it before, LOL. I've got a Swamp Soothsayer video short coming up. It may be live already for channel members. O-Dog and David. I know Serena had one. I like calling her the Swamp Seer, but her real name is the Swamp Soothsayer, or that's the name that Rockstar gave her. And apparently there are 13 encounters, or 13 unique pieces of dialogue with her. I've only had one. Well, I only have one on video. Christian says, nuh-uh, O-Dog. You did not. I don't believe it. As Dutch says, I don't believe it. O'Driscolls are here. Why? How's everyone's week looking? Serena says, the whispers of ghastly ghosts. I did upload that video. That was amazing. So much talking in the forest. Yeah, up in, not Annisburg, up north in Roanoke Ridge. Is that what you're talking about? Odog says, better believe I've shot it a couple times. Yeah, David, that's where Arthur got the idea of shooting frying pans. Because he was shooting all the bells. Dan says, morning from England. Dan Constantin Popescu. Greetings, Dan. Appreciate you being here. We were talking about ghost stories and snacks. And I know England is very haunted. I know that for a fact. Serena says, yes, with Arthur, Antonio. Odog says, what up, Davy boy? Kristen says, Super Antonio, have you done a video where the battlefield is at Rhodes? There will be a dead body with a letter on the side. Not sure if you made... Yeah, I have, Christian. I have. It's an old one, though. Serena says, hi, Dan. I've covered... The only area I haven't covered thoroughly is Annesburg and Roanoke Ridge and up there. Like those L trees, you know? The ones that lead and the... Yeah, I've even done the... Nobody talks about the dream catchers. I've done, you know, I've got old videos on the dream catchers, and that leads to a cave where there's like a Native American knife up. Serena says, hi, Dan. And David has a Moondoggy emoticon. Wasim Mohammed says, hey, everyone. Greetings, Wasim. Happy Sunday. Serena says, Christian, I did upload that video somewhere. Odog says, what up, Mo? David says, hey, Mo. And Serena says, hi, Wasim. Yeah, what do you think of the snack stream idea? It would definitely keep this one's attention for an hour. And it might be, and I know it would be fun. It'd be fun for me and be fun for the dog. But if it would be entertaining for you, then yeah, let's do it. Christian says, yeah, not sure something cool is you can find the other letter on a dead girl. I think the guy's name is Garfield. Is that his name, Super Antonio? I cannot recall, Christian. It's been so long. It's been too long. There's just so much in the game. 14 viewers in the chat. Welcome, friends. We're talking about ghost stories and snacks. My two favorite subjects. Not really. But I feel I've had more than my fair share of paranormal encounters. But they're very subtle and not dramatic and nothing like the movies. Serena says, that'd be good, Antonio. Anything you upload is fantastic and awesome. Well, I really appreciate you saying that, and I really appreciate your support, Serena. And all I have to say to that sentence is, you're fantastic and awesome. What was I going to say? Christian says, all right, I will see if I can find the second letter because I know where the first letter is. We'll update you on your next stream, Super Antonio. Sounds like a plan, Christian. What was I going to say? Yeah, I watched Exorcist Believer. Was not happy at all. I did not believe. Was not impressed. But one thing they got right that I wanted to mention is in the original Exorcist, Reagan, Linda Blair, was fooling around with a Ouija board and called and summoned the demon Pazuzu, but she thought he was named Captain Trips, so she was playing with a Ouija board and summoned it. And the kids in this Exorcist Believer also perform a ceremony that summons the demon, where they're trying to contact one of the girl's dead mother from beyond the grave. Odog says, Super Antonio, don't forget to make the other video I mentioned. The one on Catfish Jackson, Odog. And Serena says, thank you, Antonio. It's in the queue. Odog says, or maybe don't need a vid, but go look. Arthur and Lenny get drunk. Arthur has to get away. And you wake up by a tree with a message engraved. Oh, yeah. I mean, that's from the coming soon. I'll look for that. I thought you were talking about Catfish Jackson. Yeah, I did that. I did the first half of that, Odog. Lenny Tree. Let's go look. Odog says, yes, Catfish 2. Serena says, that was the true story. Exorcist. Yeah, the first one, I believe. And also, Serena, what are the ones? It's called like the Annabelle series. Yeah, the Annabelle film series. Those are based on true stories, true events. And those are the same. Those ghost hunters are from actual historical figures. They were the ones who they got famous, the real ones, for the Amityville Horror. You recall that as well. Serena says, I think that was a true story. I liked Reagan. Reagan liked you. Onyx says, you should make outfit videos. I'm bad at styling Arthur. Okay, Onyx. Greetings. Serena says, hi, Onyx. And Odog says, yeah, not bad. Fashion, LOL. Yeah, Arthur's outfit options, they're not limited, but they are, like, for me personally, I always want to stay within an 1880 Western aesthetic. And it's really easy, like with a bowler hat, you know, you can make him like, technically he's in 1900, he's in Victorian times, you know, you could dress him like Sherlock Holmes, I'm sure. And he would fit right in, especially in Saint Denis. If you look at like how the gentlemen are dressed in Saint Denis, and you can totally dress Arthur like that if you want. But it's a Western game. I want him to look like a cowboy. Serena says, yes, Annabelle stories are true. That scared me. Yeah, but the doll, if you look up the actual Annabelle doll, she's not half as scary as the one in the movies. I think she's a Raggedy Ann doll. I don't know if they have Raggedy Anns in Australia. Odok says, maybe put some legendary items from hunting and make outfits. And Serena says, is Child's Play real? The story with Chucky's doll. No, as far as I know, it is not. Serena. But yeah, I like Chucky, and I liked Nightmare on Elm Street. Nightmare on Elm Street, Serena, is real. Or rather, it was based on a real event where teens were dying in their sleep. Apparently from nightmares. There was like a whole spate of them. Onyx says, I heard people die when they took pictures of her or something. Yeah, it's a cursed doll. I don't know the actual story. I just know it's based on true events, whatever that means. But what are the names of those ghost hunters? Annabelle film series. Cast. No, they're the haunting. No, I'm not finding him. Odog says, the next road over is Elm Street. The sniper's here. Happy Sunday, Sniper. Sniper says, Super Antonio and Star Hearts. Hello. Greetings, Sniper. We're talking about ghost stories and snacks. Yeah, the Warrens. Serena says the doll is at the Warrens' home. Yeah, it's under glass. Warren Ghost Hunters. Ed and Lorraine Warren. That's their name. In 1952, the Warrens founded the New England Society for Psychic Research, the oldest ghost hunting group in New England. To quote Wikipedia, they authored many books about the paranormal and their private investigations into various reports of paranormal activity. They claim to have investigated well over 10,000 cases during their career, and the Warrens were among the first investigators in the Amityville haunting. And then here we go. According to the Warrens, in the year 1970, two roommates claimed their Raggedy Ann doll was possessed by the spirit of a young girl named Annabelle Higgins. The Warrens took the doll, telling the roommates it was being manipulated by an inhuman presence, and put it on display at the family's occult museum. The legend of the doll inspired several films in the Conjuring universe and is a motif in many others. There. Odog says, unfortunately, Onyx, we can't get the watch or whatever he's got on his vest. Serena says, hi, Sniper, welcome. David says, Sniper. What did Onyx says? I wish Arthur could dress like Dutch. Well, you can, if you get the Legend of the East outfit, you can use the watch chain from that vest. That's the only way you can get something close. Micah says, where is Ed and Lorraine Warren's house? Anyway, I hear you can tour it. Indiana, it's in the Midwest somewhere, I think. Ed and Lorraine Warren house. Tour tickets. Inside the Warrens Occult Museum in Connecticut, where Annabelle, the museum, which resembles a large shed, sits across the yard from the former home of the late Ed and Lorraine. It's in Monroe, Connecticut. I don't know where that is. Ticket price. Oh, I think it's closed. Well, the house from The Conjuring is available if you want to go there. Let's see. Where are we? Serena says, hi, Micah. And David says, Micah. And Odog says, sup, Micah. Odog says, there are also some strange rumors about the Appalachian Mountains. Cruz says, good night, guys. Going to get rest for the rest of the week. Till next time. And Micah says, I hope all of you guys are doing well. Serena says, thanks. Think The Conjuring is true story, too. The Warrens helped the family. David says, see ya, Cruz. And Mama One is here. Everyone say hi to Mama One. Mama One says, hey, everyone. Serena says, good night, Cruz. See you. Have a great week. Mama One says, it's in Connecticut. Yeah, Mama One, we're talking about ghost stories and snacks. Serena says, hi, Mama. David says, there she is. And Onyx says, well, at least I have his outfit in Red Dead Online. Mama One says, hey, Serena. Hey, David and Odog. And Odog says, hi, howdy, M1. Christian says, traditional vest, white, standard collar, overshirt, black, saddle work pants, navy blue, sleeked riding boots, colors like sand, western riding spurs, like sand as well, and Arthur's hat for young Arthur. And Odoc says, later on, Cruz. Micah says, do you have any scary stories of your own, Super Antonio? Yeah, I told a bunch of them at the start of this chat. That was the theme. Mama One, Sadie's here. Say hi to Mama One. She's happy to see you. Makes her happy to see you. Say hi to Mama One, and stay here. Stay. No. Stay. Please stay. Odoc says, this just in, Arabians still suck. Miko says, bye, Cruz, and hello, Mama One. And Christian says, good night, Cruz. Get some good rest, you hear. And also, I call my outfit Young Arthur. You also need a bandana. Mama One says, I think they shut down the museum when Lorraine died. They talked about moving it to the Vatican so it could be blessed. And Mama One says, hey, Meeks, and hey, Sadie. Yeah, Micah, I was talking about last night after the stream when I was doing the dishes. I felt a hand on my shoulder, but it wasn't like a spooky, ghostly hand grabbing my shoulder. It was more like the memory of a hand or a shadow of a hand. And I immediately thought of my father and assumed it was him. I was not afraid. It was not scary. The lights didn't flicker. It didn't the room didn't suddenly grow cold. The radio didn't turn on. Don't have a radio, but you know what I mean. Was nothing like the movies. And I completely forgot about it until the next morning. And thought we should talk about it. And every paranormal event I've ever had has happened kind of like that. Mama One says, hey, Meeks, and hey, Sadie. And Mama One says, Sadie's scared of ghost stories. Yeah, she was in the bedroom. She was, I put her to bed while I was doing the dishes, and I closed the door because I didn't want her to come into the kitchen. I wanted her to relax because, but she'll always follow me into the kitchen because that's where the treats are. And so I put her to bed, and I was all alone. And that's one thing with a dog is you're never alone. And that's, one thing I love about having a dog. But I was kind of alone this time. And that happened. Mama One says, was it comforting? That's a great question, Mama One. I think it was. It wasn't frightening. It was just I just felt like a sigh. Yeah, so I suppose it was kind of comforting. It's like, I didn't stop washing dishes. It was just like an odd feeling. And my rational brain almost immediately dismissed it. Odoc says, now that I think back, I've had that experience before, and it was a happy one at least. Yeah, it's like, it wasn't dramatic like the movies. It was just a thing that happened. And I was like, that's odd. Onyx says, well, they say animals can see what we can't. And yeah, I believe that to be true, Onyx. And Micah says, do you have any scary stories from your childhood? Not really. I didn't really have that many encounters as a child. Most of them has been as an adult. I think when I was young, when odd things happened, I just accepted it as, because I was so inexperienced with the world. This was just a new experience. So I didn't process it as a supernatural event because I assume things like this have been happening my whole life. Like, for example, I remember waking up as a young lad and seeing a white figure in the corner of my room. But it wasn't scary, and I assumed it was my mom. And but obviously it couldn't have been. My mom was asleep. Everyone was asleep. But I can remember specifically that event, and I wasn't afraid. I just looked over at it, and and said, "Mom," and then went back to bed, went back to sleep. So yeah, things like that happen. But I've just the the intellectual part of my brain will not allow me to process it or believe that it was a supernatural event or an actual ghost. It was just a trick of the moonlight to me. Mama once says, "We lived in a haunted house when I was a child. You would always hear a baby cry and hear a toddler like laugh and then help. My daddy never believed any of us. There were 6 of us." Odog says, "Dip in the volume there. What's that about?" At any rate, friends, that's all I have for you tonight. I appreciate you being here. All of you have a great week. We shall return for Marston Mondays. I hope you enjoyed our supernatural events. We'll do it again, perhaps. Maybe a snack stream. We'll see. Shout out to the mods, Odog, David, Serena, Mama One. Glad you were here. Christian, Micah, Onyx, Miko, of course. Thank you, friends.